Good day, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone who is watching and listening to us. This is Trans and Intersex History Africa, and today we are having our usual archival conversations where we bring you stories of trailblazers, stories of activists, trans and intersex, gender diverse, in Africa and in its diaspora. At Trans and Intersex History, ours is to document, it is to archive and keep safe all our work at our digital archives. www.transintersexhistory.africa. There you can find past videos, past stories, our experiences, our memories as trans and intersex Africans. No more shutting us up. This is us and this is our time. So on this day, today, this Friday, is a special one. Tomorrow is Intersex Day of Remembrance. Intersex Day of Remembrance, everyone. That's what we are celebrating tomorrow. And here at TIHA, we are having this conversation a day before the actual day. So please sit tight and enjoy the people that you're going to meet today, who I will introduce very soon. So this intersex remembrance, we're going to look across 3 generations. We have the young ones, those who have just joined and, are taking and carrying our voices forward. We are looking at those who came midway, which you might call mid-generation, and we are looking at another generation of those who first opened the paths that our intersex brothers and sisters and others are walking today. And in these 3 generations, we will hear what Intersex Remembrance Day of Remembrance means. We have 3 guests with us from different parts of Africa. We have Kuda Kwashe, forgive me for playing around with names, Kuda Kwashe Murisa, who is the director of Intersex Community of Zimbabwe. They will be joining us today in the studio. We have Tom Makumbi from Uganda. That one has been around for 10 plus years of activism for intersex Africans, and is part of CIPID in Uganda, and also has contributed to the work towards the formation of AIM, African Intersex Movement. We also have David. I will try the name, Hilaite David Haniel from Nigeria. That's going to be our youngster, and is also going to tell us how they are lifting us as we grow older. May I have Hilaite David is from Center for Health, Development, and Youth Empowerment. So let's have all of them on the stage in this studio, and let the party begin. That's Tom Makumbi from Uganda. We have David, the little one from Nigeria that we are proud of. And next is Kuda from Zimbabwe. Welcome to the show, my comrades.
Thank you, Victor.
Yes, Kuda is still missed. We will start as we wait for Kuda. Zimbabwe likes to come last. I don't know why, but we will start. And David, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
Thing that I have missed in your introduction, but then end it with telling us what Intersex Day of Remembrance means for all our people tomorrow as they celebrate.
Okay. For me, Intersex Day of Remembrance means the day where we actually think about our journey, right? We should also think about our predecessors, those who were there, and then even before we come in. It's the people that I always think of, the people who started the journey, and people who are continuing the journey. and people who will continue with the journey even before us. Yes, it's the people for me. Yeah, that
We
made it.
remember, we're looking back. Is that what you say?
Yes.
Thank you very much. That is what Intersex Day of Remembrance means to David. We are going to skip a generation and speak to Tom Makumbi from Uganda, one
Thank you.
of our ancestors in the in the intersex movement. What does that mean to you, and anything else you might want to say as we start?
Thank you so much, Victor. And to me, it is basically honoring those people who started this journey, comrades that came on board, even when the space wasn't available to talk about these issues. Actually, even speaking about intersex rights was considered a taboo during those days that we joined the movement.
Right.
And of course, there are those people who, were bold enough to come on board and speak,
Yes.
even when those rooms were closed. But some
Yes.
people were knocking on those doors all the time that we need to speak about this because this is the reality. So some
Remember
people,
them.
people lost lives.
Okay.
People went abroad. People were ridiculed, and it has been a long journey. But of course, with
Yeah.
all the work that intersex activists have done,
Yeah.
we are seeing a transformation from silence to kind of an open space where now people can even speak up.
That's what we want to talk about today.
This is what we wanted.
All right, so that's what we want to talk about today. And also for you, Intersex Day of Remembrance is looking back to our journey, remembering those who came fighting. Thank you very much, Tom. And Kuda, before you got onto the screen, we were just discussing, we introduced you. I don't know if you heard us, but everybody knows you're from Zimbabwe, the land of Zimbabwe. And we just would like to hear what Intersex Day of Remembrance means to you as the mid generation. I think you're somewhere there in the middle. You're muted, Kuda. Don't think you're the older generation now that doesn't understand technology. Unmute you. Oh, Kuda, I think should be part of the older generation because in unmuting, Kuda decided to get off the screen. But we will continue, and Kuda will tell us what the day means to them when they return. And Kuda, we will start with you, David. Your generation came into the movement when the movement had already started and shaped itself. Tell us, how did you experience this time when you came in? What did you find? How did it look like?
Okay. I think I'm going to talk on the context of Nigeria in
Yes, that's
particular. Yes. Yes. Actually, there was not much work actually being done, but even though activism was actually being carried out,
right.
right? But there is not much visibility of intersex issues in the country,
Okay.
right? And yeah, I think that's also what prompts like me also to be also to be part of the movement. And also, if you look at the structure of Nigeria concerning the visibility and the understanding of the intersex issues is very low in the country. Yeah.
When you came in, had you met any other intersex people?
Yes.
You had?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I did a lot.
Oh,
A lot
which year?
actually.
Which year did you find the first intersex person other than you?
Okay, other than me. Okay. I
Yeah,
think it was 2019.
2019.
2019. Yes,
Yeah,
I met Obioma, the executive director of Intersex Nigeria.
I see. I see.
Yes,
And
yes.
immediately you decided it's time to fight.
Yes, it is. It
Amazing.
is.
We are so proud of you, David. It is so great for us to see young people, carrying on that work that people like Tom, started. Yes, back to you, Kuda. Kuda, please, you're going to unmute yourself, but do not switch yourself off. You're still a young person. And let's go back there to what intersex means to you, Kuda. You got it.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm answering what intersex means to me, or what Intersex Day of Remembrance
It is not
means to me.
very clear. Did you say you're not intersex?
No, no, no. I'm asking if I'm supposed to answer what intersex means, or what Intersex Day of Remembrance means to me
You know
as an
something, if you
intersex
were to
person.
answer what I didn't ask the question, but if that is something that you want to echo out there because a lot of people don't know, yes, please tell us what intersex means, and then you tell us what Intersex Day of Remembrance means to you.
Okay, thank you so much. So for me, an intersex person is someone who is born with biological sex characteristics that does not typically fit the person either being male or female. Then at times it becomes difficult to distinguish either one is male or a female.
That's a simple way
Yeah,
you have
so
put it. I hope that people get it.
yes. So coming back to Intersex Day of Remembrance, for me, it is a day that we come together as the intersex community to raise awareness about the challenges that we face as intersex persons, and also to advocate for our rights, because those challenges, we believe that they come with human rights violations. So we then advocate for our rights
Mm-hmm.
to be protected,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and also to be legally recognized in different countries, be
Mm-hmm.
it in Zimbabwe, in
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria, everywhere else. That's what we want as the intersex community.
Wow, thank you very much. And today we're gonna hear more. We're gonna hear more about that. But you came in also at a time when we would like to hear from your generation. Your generation, even if it came much earlier than David's, you also found the intersex movement already forming and shaping in Africa, and probably in Zimbabwe. When you came in, how were things? When did you come in? How did you come in? And how were things in Zimbabwe or in Africa in general, if you have the knowledge?
Okay, thank you so much.
When did you
So when
first,
I come,
okay, go ahead.
okay, thank you so much for that question. When I come into the movement, there was already a strong foundation that was laid by people like Tom and others who
Which
had
year was
fought to break it. That was in 2018. That's when I met another intersex person. Because of late, I used to think that I'm the only intersex person in Zimbabwe, because yeah,
Wow, that must have been an amazing feeling.
yes. For me, I then realized that there was already a strong foundation that was already being laid,
Yeah.
uh, whereby the activists before me, they were trying to break the silence around intersex issues.
Hmm.
They had already created language, and they already created spaces and the courage for us even to begin organizing openly. But it was still a fragile time. The movement was visible, but still very misunderstood.
Right.
Then I joined the movement. Yeah.
And when you joined, was there already an organization in Zimbabwe? Were you based in Harare, Bulawayo? Where were you?
I was based in Harare. So
Mhm.
there were some organizations, but then the one that I then joined was still a baby, trying to a baby which was still trying to be taken care of. So I then joined the activist. I'm sure you are aware of Ronnie Zuze.
No, but now you're telling us
Yes.
about
So
them.
so so so
We should lift them up as some of the people who have, created these spaces for us. What's the name again?
it's Ronnie Zuze.
Shout out to you, Ronnie Zuze in Zimbabwe. And what organization was that?
It was we then founded the intersex community of Zimbabwe.
Wonderful. Thank you very much to everybody that you found there and everybody that you work with. A shout out to you. But from here, let us move now to the judges like me, the people who came in first to create this space or who were around the earlier days. And that is you, Tom Makumbi from Uganda. Could you please tell us, these people found when different parts of Africa, things have started different times.
Yes.
How do you come in? When do you come in? What do you find? What do you create? What do you contribute to? Who are you working with?
Makumbi Tom is my name. I work for Support Initiative for People with Congenital Disorders, CPD Uganda. And I came in 2011. That is when I joined Julius at CPD Uganda. And the time I came in, it was a little bit rough. Even the wording itself, just talking about intersex, was it's here in Uganda because of connotations attached to some of these words, the language, and of course, even media, because we thought it was very important for us to engage the media if we want to move forward. And the first reaction from the different media houses that we went through, that was 2011, 2012, because we thought it was very important to engage different media houses to talk about these issues. And because you know very well, Victor, that the media is something that can change people's hearts and minds. It can lift you or it can put you down, actually.
Right.
So, it was a very strong campaign. We went to different media stations, radios, televisions, print, talking about these issues because, local tabloids like Bouquet, they had started talking about these issues, like, in our local language. So, but of course, the issue that came with that, visibility doesn't have safety. Sometimes it's not. It created a lot of visibility. Many people came out,
Yeah.
and they were ready to speak. But of course, it wasn't because of what was happening at the time. Who was talking about intersex? People thought maybe they are gay or lesbian. That is the perception that was here. So it took us a lot of work to explain to the general public for people to understand that they are different. These issues are different, actually. When we talk about intersex, these are babies. This is how they are born. And there are issues that will come later in life to discuss. For now, what we want is to make sure we have a safe space where these children can grow, they can go to school, because even at that time, there was a lot of dropouts from schools. And all the projects that we designed at a time were meant to provide solutions to the problems that were in existence. One, mothers themselves needed support from us. We needed to find ways of how to curb down the increasing number of teenagers, intersex teenagers who are dropping out of school at the time by introducing like the schools outreach program because we wanted to go to schools and start right from grassroots. Then we had also to introduce the skills development program for the many young people who had dropped out of school. So we wanted to have them at least have a tradable skill. So we took them on a 6 months course as an organization, CPID, to learn mechanics, hairdressing, tailoring. All these courses were being supported by CPD because we wanted these people to have a space or power to talk. You know, there is this notion that if you have nothing in your wallet, sometimes you're not invited on the advocacy table. So
Right.
we wanted to make sure that
You become part of the menu.
exactly.
They eat you up.
So yeah, so many of these projects that CP designed was to make sure that we can have strong voices,
Yes.
people speaking about these issues, but also
Yes.
not just even in Uganda, because during that time, like the 2012, we had started the exchange program where we
Oh
had
yes, we
yeah,
had a conversation about the exchange program here. But
so
before we go forward
yeah,
to what CPID did around
yeah,
that time, have you heard of any stories of those who came before you in Uganda or outside of Uganda?
of course, in Uganda, people like Julius Kagwa,
Mm-hmm.
they come earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. There wasn't
Mm.
even a space for, because from the what we've read, what we've seen, the
Mm.
conversation is started from uh, different, like someone who's small house to talk about these issues. There
Mhm.
wasn't like a setup of offices or strong spaces, given spaces for these people who came first to talk about these issues.
So
But
we've heard of Julius Kagwa from Uganda. There are others.
from Uganda, basically from my side, I think I've heard about Julius Kagwa from Uganda and
Yes.
not so
And
much.
I think it's very important for us to recognize Sally Gross. May her
Yeah,
soul
yeah,
rest in
actually,
peace.
yes, yeah,
Somebody who really fought hard for the intersex movement to
exactly,
pave
exactly.
way
People like that. Gross was also there during that time. Yeah.
for that. And as you speak, friends, feel free to mention names of people that you remember. I'm sure there are so many, but if you remember anybody, let us recognize their contributions today or their existence.
Yeah.
So when you came in, things were not. Things were still. They were not the offices that the Davids use today, that the
Exactly.
Kudas use today. Things were different. And for
Exactly.
all of you, I would like to hear from you about language in those moments when you came in. And if we could start with you, David. I've heard about the word before the Toms in Uganda, before Julius in Uganda. The only word I had was hermaphrodite, and and then also as an as a queer activist, all our organizations had an I on them, but there was no I in reality. What was it like in Nigeria when you came in? Because remember, you come in much later, David, little David, King David.
Yes.
You come in much later. Did you find those words? Which words were being used in Nigeria to describe intersex people? What language? What understanding did people have? In that was 2012, 11,
No. I came into the no. I
2019,
Yeah.
2019.
Okay. I
Yes,
actually met the Obioma right at
yes,
2019, and
2019.
that's when I actually come across like someone like me, right? At that
Okay,
time there was no word to put it, right? So it's just someone like me, someone with a different differences in
okay,
sex characteristics at that time. So I think it was towards 2021, right? So I
right,
get more understanding of then again the word comes intersex, right?
okay.
Because at most of the words that you hear was some disorder in sex characteristics. Yes,
Yeah,
and and those were the words mostly flying around. Yeah.
yeah. It's very understandable because Africa in all movements, LGBTIQ plus movements, is at different levels at the moment. So while things were advanced elsewhere, in South Africa, for example, in Uganda, they started, Nigeria, you were still, just coming up at that time. But that takes us to Kuda. When you came in, around the time you came in, how was language like in Zimbabwe? Were there specific words like I had when I was in Uganda, hermaphrodite, and some other Luganda words? Like, how was it like? And did people know about intersex people in Zimbabwe? Like, Was there discourse around that? Kuda, you're muted?
Okay. All right. So there was issues around language. Uh, so for me, I think I can start from the time when I start to notice that there was differences in my body and also my other colleagues, like my sisters and my friends. That's when then I requested my
Just a
medical
second,
document.
please. Just a second, please. As a studio, I don't know if our comrades in the studio can hear Kuda clearly, but the voice is really, really muffled. Kuda, do you hear me very clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
And I think we hear you better now. Thanks, everybody. All right, go on,
Uh,
please.
all right. So I was saying there were issues around language
Yes.
when I came in. So
Mm,
I want to take it a bit back
mm,
from when I was growing up. That's when I noticed that there are some differences in my genitals, and then I started to have some questions. Then I remember one day I requested the medical documents from my mother, and then she
right.
gave me the medical document. So the word that I saw that was written was hermaphrodite.
Oh,
So I wanted to understand what does that mean. But at that time I was still young. I did not focus more on that. So when I came in, I realized that they were now using intersex instead of hermaphrodite. Then I
um,
got some interest to find out what does hermaphrodite mean, only to realize it's a derogatory term whereby it can be given to an animal, or maybe if there was if they are human beings who can have two sexual reproductive systems so that they can impregnate themselves. Or so I noticed that to humans it cannot happen. You can be
mm,
intersex, but you cannot have two sexual reproduction that you can impregnate yourself. So I think that's why the term was then phased out and being replaced with intersex. And again, with the term intersex, it's still a term that also raised some some questions, because when someone hear about intersex, taking the word sex, people think of sexual intercourse and something else. So I remember when we registered as Intersex Community of Zimbabwe, we were
mm,
doing some engagements where we wanted to to invite the police to our engagement. Then we submitted a letter with with the letterhead. So when they saw the letter, they said, "Ah, you are the ones who do sex." So the issues around language, and also the understanding, um, the lack of knowledge that
mm,
is within our communities. Yes.
mm.
So, and also there are some Shona terms that are being used, or that were being used. You
Right.
know, those are they
What
are
kind of
also derogatory terms.
what kind of terms are used in Shona? No. Are there any positive terms that are being used in Shona today?
In Zimbabwe, as of now, we do not have. We are still trying to find the term that we can use in vernacular.
Okay. All right. Because we don't want to hear
Yes.
again more of those Shona words that were really derogatory to people. But people, friends in
Yes.
Africa and elsewhere, you have heard from our speakers today. They say the word hermaphrodite is not okay. It is not a word that we can use anymore to describe human beings. The people with the characteristics for which you used to say hermaphrodite are called intersex people. They are people that are intersex. And so thank you so much for highlighting that, Kuda, for educating. And now we will go back to Makumbi, Tom. And Tom, I know that in your bio it mentions that you also contributed to the formation of an of Africa intersex movement, and probably other networks sub-regionally. How did that go? How did that happen? Because we've already heard about the Africa intersex movement, but just take us a little bit back of why the need to do that.
Thank you so much, Victor. The need was, apart from South Africa, I think it was only CPD from Uganda. That was specifically talking about intersex issues. Specifically talking about intersex issues.
Is anyone using another gadget to listen? If anybody has another gadget near them, we are getting an echo. Go ahead, Tom.
So at CPD, we thought it was very imperative for us to make sure that we can have different voices from different countries.
Yes.
Because we looked at the exchange program, and there were intersex organizing in Zambia, in Kenya, for instance, Zimbabwe, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, but the voices were a bit little, not so much on the platform that where we wanted them to be. So we thought that if we can have a collective of intersex organizations sharing knowledge, resources, and of course the space to talk about these issues, because this work, you can't win working in isolation, but you need so many other people on board.
Right.
Actually, from that time when we had intersex leaders from different countries coming to Uganda to learn from our model, we are very happy that when they went back to their countries, they formed formidable organizations doing incredible work. And so we thought we can have an African intersex movement where organizations can contribute knowledge, capacities, because people have different capacities and knowledge, and they can share resources for a common goal. So in 2017, we thought it was very important to have the African intersex movement. Then in 2019, we launched it in Nairobi. I remember we were in Nairobi, Kenya. And so from that day, CPD can come in to speak about this, because I remember we provided, of course, capacity support to different organizations, both virtual and physical, so we could visit intersex organizations in those countries, or they could come here and they learn from here. And I'm happy to report, even today, like in Uganda, we have other 3 intersex organizations doing great work. Yes, 3 intersex organizations doing great work in the different regions of the country, using a language that those people from those areas understand better, because we are talking about the issue of language. Even in our laws. For instance, the Registration of Persons Act 2015 still talks about hermaphrodite, but this is what we are trying to, someone was telling us that it's sometimes good to celebrate the little you have, then you can continue to engage and dialogue, because the mere fact that word is there, those people from those big ministries who are responsible for policy formulation, laws, they know that we exist, and they must do something. So that collective under the African Intersex Movement in Kenya, they have now the Intersex Person Society of Kenya, all they're trying to get different organizations doing same work, but they can fight as a team to make sure that they can have the goal that they want to see in the future.
Well, thank you so much, Tom, for your contribution to the formation of the African Intersex Movement. Thank you to CPID and all the other organizations that took part in this. David, back to you, King David. I would like to check in with you. Is your organization, the Center for Health Development and Youth Empowerment, a part of the African Intersex movement?
Yes, intersex
Oh,
Nigeria. Yes, yes.
wonderful. And what is this center doing today? Paint us a picture of what you do at the Center for Health Development and Youth Empowerment.
Okay, Intersex Nigeria, right? We actually do quite a lot of work. Like we spread across because
Mhm.
we are the only intersex focused organization in okay, I'm
David,
back. And
you
can
said
you hear me?
you're the only intersex?
Yes, we are the only intersex focused and led organization in Nigeria presently right now.
Wow. Mhm.
Yes, yes, and we actually our work calls across some visibility, awareness, and empowerment for intersex persons, right? Yes, and we also offer psychological support and
Mhm.
well-being. Yes, and also strengthen the capacity of intersex persons, like
Mhm.
on like giving them seed grant and support, financial support, and also we also provide assistance. Yes, yes. And
Okay.
we also, yeah,
What did
okay.
you say?
Okay, I said, and we also provide them support for also the intersex parents in particularly. Yes,
Well, thank you. But that's very, very important. Tell me
yes.
something, David. Many years ago, when I was starting activism and all those decades that I worked, I came across Nigerian organizations that were LGBTI. And my question to you is, are organizations that are LGBTI, are they also supportive of the work of the intersex movement, the intersex people in Nigeria? Are they also a part of what we are doing, you are doing?
Okay, okay. Can I also elaborate on that, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, like period to intersex Nigeria, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, period to intersex Nigeria. The work of the intersex community, it was on a very,
Lost.
let me say, yes, low and like little to
Mm,
none, right? But
mm,
now it's a
mm,
testament that we can say, whereas,
mm.
yeah, we are in collaboration with a lot of organizations
Nice.
in Nigeria. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
So the eye is no longer a decoration like we used to
Yes,
decorate our
yes, yes.
organizations.
It's not. Yes, it's no
Yeah.
longer in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. And in Nigeria, before I move on to Kuda, in Nigeria, uh, has the center, your organization, also
Yeah.
worked? What is the relationship between your center and the traditional setting? Because somebody came here and told us it was SIPID. Somebody from Julius came here and told us that sometimes we need to reach out to such people because that's where we have traditional bathers, midwives, and those are the people who first meet an intersex child. Have you done any work with the traditional settings in Nigeria?
Yes, yes. Actually, our work actually started from there, right?
Oh,
We started from the yes,
tell us a little
and
bit about that.
okay, okay. I can give you like as of recently, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. As of recently, we actually have a workshop that brought about medical professionals, traditional leaders,
Yeah,
yes, into that setting, right?
yeah.
And which in that setting, so we talk about how intersex, right, and how they can also come in and
Mhm.
also to support and also be a part of the work that we do.
What
Because
kind of language do you use with them, and how do you like? Have they told you what it means in the different languages? Ebo, Yoruba, la 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 la.
okay. Yes, even though so Nigeria is a multilingual country, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but English is also spoken, right? And we also have like staff organization who are multilingual. Yes, so translation is actually very paramount in whatever we do. But the most important thing is the message is being passed, even though it's not in English. Yes.
Right. Thank you very much, David. Kuda, you can unmute yourself and we hear from you. And your question again is still the same that I checked in with the others. A part of the African intersex movement.
Yes, we are part of African Intersex movement and also South Africa.
That is good. And your organization, Kuda, the intersex community, I think, of Zimbabwe. What are you working on? How is the organization, approaching the intersex issue? Very briefly, tell us about your programs and what you do.
Okay, so intersex community.
Are you able to do anything with your audio? So that we can hear your voice. I beg your pardon?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, so I was saying the Intersex Community of Zimbabwe is an intersex-led community-based organization that was founded in 2018 with the aim of fighting for the rights of intersex persons in Zimbabwe and across the region as well as internationally. So what we do is we work with the intersex persons and we also work with the intersex parents because we realize that the parents of intersex persons are the ones who first receive the intersex baby. So they are the ones who start to face the stigma, the discrimination. They are the ones who start to face the challenges when the child is still very young. So we don't want to ignore those parents. So we work with them so that they also need to be supported in terms of psychologically and also given information so that when an intersex person grew up, the body started to develop the other way around. They will be able to understand their child and also maybe at least be the first person to stand with their child. So we have done some work around advocating for the intersex rights. I think we started, we engaged in some of the national processes that happened in Zimbabwe. We started in 2018. There was a process that happened with the National Inquiry on Access to Documentation. That was done with the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission. We then raised our issues that affect us, especially when it comes to documentation, because that's one of the challenges whereby one acquires the document that doesn't speak to themselves, and then later on it becomes difficult to use those documents. So we engaged the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission, and they came up with the report, which was then mentioning the challenges that we presented to them. And also during that report, they also gave the statistics that we had such a number of males who participated, we have such a number of females, and we have a number of intersex who participated in the consultations that happened. So that was a milestone, and we also there was a. Okay, you can go on.
There's one more thing you wanted to say.
Yeah, there are more things that I want to say. Okay, maybe just to quicken up, there's a recommendation that was then accepted. The recommendation on the protection of intersex minors from non-consensual surgery. So we have been riding upon that recommendation that was accepted to make sure that it can be operationalized. So we also did another
where was
engagement.
That recommendation produced from? Who recommended?
Okay, the UPR recommendation was accepted. That was in 2021 or 2022, if I'm not mistaken, in Geneva. whereby
Yes.
the report is presented to UN, and
Yes.
then other countries got to accept or to give recommendation, and then Zimbabwe accepted that recommendation that was given. So
Wonderful.
yes, recently we are trying to do some engagements so that we make sure that the recommendation can be operationalized. Yes,
In the
and
country.
also yes, we are doing some engagements with the Ministry of Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are doing consultations whereby they are engaging with the intersex community, trying to find out the challenges that the community face so that they can come up with a legal framework. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, so those are some of the work that we are doing. And also we are working very well with the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission.
Right. Well, Kuda,
Yes.
that's a lot. And you know what? Uh, I would like to invite you back at some point to talk about the intersex movement in Zimbabwe, the journeys that you have traveled, and what and where you are at today. We would like to invite you back to just focus on that. Thank you very much. And we are almost coming to the end, but Tom, I would like to hear from you about any battles by either CPD in Uganda or continent-wide, any battles for legal and policy reform that have happened. Have there been any court cases anywhere? Have we reached that level yet in Africa?
Um, Here in Uganda, because like you sit down as a team and
Yes.
you put on a weighing scale and see
Mm.
where you go first
Yes.
in terms of intersex children accessing school,
Yeah.
being able to have a home where to stay,
Mhm.
have access to quality health care,
Mhm.
and of course, as an institution, you know, and now we can look at the legal perspective. So you put on a weighing scale and see where do you want to go first. That's where you
Mhm.
put much of the emphasis. And of course, looking at the African context, because
Mhm.
we are living in different countries.
Mhm.
For for instance, when you see what is happening in Kenya in terms of legal processes, to the extent
Mhm.
that we had intersex persons being counted in the 2019 census in Kenya, the Intersex Persons Bill of 2024 of Kenya, it's not surprising that those people benchmarked from Uganda in
Mhm.
2017. In 2017, the task force from Kenya came to Uganda to benchmark on the work we are doing. They went back home, and the government saw the importance of making sure there are policies and laws that protect intersex persons. When it comes to Uganda, it's a different journey that we are
Mhm.
walking. So we wanted to make sure that the general public clearly understands what is happening and what we are doing through public education,
Mhm.
media engagement. When it comes to having a critical mass of young people, we thought it was very important for us to start with schools, go to schools and educate, talk about these
Mhm.
issues.
Mhm.
We also thought that if we strengthen, for instance, the African intersex movement, so we can have different voices coming from different forums, and we
Mhm.
can reap from these voices. For
Right.
instance, recently I was attending the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. I represented AIM,
Oh,
where
the
this,
intersex movement is already at the African Commission.
yes,
Hey.
in 2013, the
Yes.
African Commission on Human and People's Rights passed
Mhm.
Resolution 552 that
Right.
specifically talks about how intersex issues should be protected, deal with discrimination in schools. They should stay in schools. Intersex activists should continue to do their work without any fear or harm from government. And of course,
Mhm.
they put strategies of how different African governments can make sure that this resolution can be domestically implemented. Actually, these were the discussions we had just recently at the African Commission, that the resolution is here. It can be given to different African countries in their different contexts. But how do we make sure that this resolution can be locally in the different countries implemented? So these are the discussions we are having, and we are sure after we align this, these are the tools or protocols we're going to use. We share with our home governments, tell them this is what is happening. You signatories this, so you must make sure you do something to protect intersex people. So I think in terms of the law, we've moved forward.
Mhm.
And of course, buying riffs on what is happening in other countries, like in Zambia, where they have the intersex management process. When I visited Kenya recently, I was telling them the same, that you can buy a riff from what the Zambian colleagues are doing. We shouldn't all the time wait for government, but as civil society, we can push
Mhm.
for, we can push for um, developments, for these developments, and we make sure that this is something that can help each and every one
Mm.
in the African context. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you so much to all of you for, I know it was a very brief, but it paints a picture of how far the intersex movement has come in Africa, and that different generations have contributed to it. So, in closing, I would like to hear from each one of you. We will leave you alone on the screen. Introduce yourself, your name, your organization, and for you, David, I request you to leave a message for young intersex activists, the young intersex activists we have today in Africa. A message of encouragement a day before Intersex Day of Remembrance. Encourage them, and if you can hold them, do what you have to do with intersex. Just leave them a message of encouragement. Young intersex activists. And then, Kuda, you will also leave a message for intersex people across the continent, those that we have today and those to come in the future, because this is going to the archives. And the people in the future, young people who are not yet born, will find this archive. Leave those little guys a message, please, for intersex people in Africa. And Tom, represent all intersex people in Africa. Leave us, intersex people and other people. In fact, Tom, a message to all of us as humanity and human rights defenders from other spheres of activism. Leave us a message about how to deal with intersex issues and how important it is. And we're going to start with you, King David. We are starting with you. We're putting you on the screen. It's your name, your organization, and a message to young intersex activists in Africa. They can hear it tomorrow. Just a minute. When you get on the screen, on the big screen, you start speaking. Studio, please. Studio, I'll try to do it myself.
Okay.
Studio, I would like to have David alone on the screen. Studio, I would like to have David alone on the screen.
Okay.
Just hold on, David. I'm gonna try to see how I do it. Studio, can I have David alone on the screen? Remove. Studio, I need your support. I need the support of the studio. I'm sorry, friends.
Okay. I'm on the big screen. Okay. Yeah. My name's Helaiti Haniel David, and I work with Intersex Nigeria Center for Healthcare and Youth Empowerment. My message to the young in Intersex Africa is that you deserve to be seen, and your bodily autonomy matters and is non-negotiable. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, David, my King David. And we will go to Kuda. Kuda, please leave a message for intersex people in Africa, all ages, even the parents for the little ones.
Okay.
Just a second, when you get on that screen, please kindly stop.
My name is Kuda Murisa. I'm with Intersex Community of Zimbabwe. My message to the fellow intersex persons out there who are listening today, please know that you are enough just as you are. You don't need to change to fit into anyone's expectation. Your body, your story, and your identities are beautiful and valid. To all the intersex parents, please know that your intersex child is good and is perfect. No need to be fixed, no need to be cutted. Just let your child be themselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kuda, for that message for all our intersex siblings out in Africa. And Tom, we will end with you with that message to all of us, to humanity, to activists, to policymakers, to everybody.
My name is Makumbi Tom. I work with Support Initiative for People with Congenital Disorders, CPD Uganda. My message is we should stop mourning for what we lost and now celebrate on what survived and what has blossomed. To the young generation, you shouldn't forget where we've come from. Make sure you use our stories, our resilience, to make sure that we continue with the work that has been done for the past many years. You may not be the person to create the change, but make sure you leave a positive legacy where other people can pick up from and continue with their work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tom, and thank you very much to Kuda and David. This has been a very powerful ahead of International or Intersex Day of Remembrance tomorrow. Thank you for blessing us. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you to all those that are not here with us today on the show that are doing amazing work in Africa. Thanks to those who we have lost during this struggle that have done amazing work around intersex issues. A special mention for Sally Gross, one of the four parents of the intersex movement in Africa. Thank you very much. And as we celebrate Intersex Remembrance Day tomorrow, let's remember all that. Let's remember the journeys of the intersex movement in Africa. Let's reach out to an intersex person and just say hi or get educated. Let us post something on our social media, which is what we use today, about intersex people in Africa, a word of encouragement, something that you have learned, something that is powerful about the intersex movement. We've learned today from a message from Kuda that these siblings of ours are normal and they're just human beings. And it is time for us to see them as such. The same issues we face, they face. And therefore, let us lift intersex people in Africa this Intersex Awareness Day, Remembrance Day, and let us honor the journey that they have traveled. Thank you very much, everyone. We will join you in spirit tomorrow during the celebrations everywhere. Until next Friday, we say goodbye.
Bye-bye.